It's been 6 months since I spent about 6 grand outfitting my new home with smart shades, or in my case, blinds, specifically the Serena Wood Blinds from Lutron. So, was it worth it or a waste of money? Do I wish I had done some windows but not others, or should you just do smart shades for all of your windows? And are there cheaper options that I should have considered? I'll answer all of those questions and more. So first, why did I decide to put smart shades on every window? This may sound a bit weird, I know, but throughout my life, I have genuinely never enjoyed having to open and close blinds or shades every day. So when I moved into a bigger space with 18 windows, I knew I would want to automate most of them. At the time, it just seemed easier to order all the blinds at once and be done with it, which is what I did. That way they all work exactly the same and they all match. Now, I did get a media discount from Lutron, which did save me about $3,500, and as part of that discount, I was required to install all 18 blinds myself, which was way more doable than I thought it would be. Honestly, with these blinds at least, I got it down to about 15 minutes per blind and I knocked out the whole install in a few hours. And yes, I would do it again. It was pretty straightforward. The hardest part was actually getting all of them connected to my Lutron bridge. Some of them just didn't want to connect, but after some trial and error and a few restarts, I did get all of them connected. Now, 6 months later, yes, I am glad that I automated most of them. And one of the main reasons for that is these blinds can automatically prevent direct sunlight from entering your space. They can rotate the angle of the blind depending on the position of the sun. That keeps my houseplant leaves from burning, helps prevent my LVP floors from warping, which actually happened when we first moved in and didn't have any blinds up, and it generally prevents harsh glare from entering spaces. And the other great thing about having all of your blinds be smart is that you can control them in groups, whether that's with a remote, the app, a schedule, or just by using your voice. And yes, 6 months later, that still feels very cool to be able to do, but it's also useful. Even if you're not home, it can make it look like you are, which is a nice security plus, and you can have them automatically close at sunset so you maximize the amount of natural light coming into your space. So yeah, going all in on every window has paid off in ways that I didn't expect, but 6 months later, did every window need to be smart? No. I have a bathroom downstairs with a window right next to the toilet, and those blinds are basically always closed. And in our main bedroom, I originally had these set with natural light optimization enabled, where they'd change their angle on their own. But this being the main bedroom, sometimes you want to sleep in or you're doing other things, and having blinds randomly open fully in the afternoon just isn't always going to be ideal. So now those blinds are either usually closed or I just manually set their angle and tilt. So given that not every blind needed to be smart, looking back 6 months, did I waste my money? Well, maybe a bit. Specifically with that guest bathroom blind, I could have gotten a dumb blind that still matched the others from Lutron. How much would I have saved? Somewhere around $250 to $400 US, depending on the blind style. Now, could I have also saved money by going with a non-Lutron shader blind? Yes, but first, let me take you through why I actually spent more going with the Lutron ones, and then I'll get into some other options you might want to consider. The first reason I wanted Lutron is their reliability. Lutron, at least here in the US, actually has a pretty unique technology called Clear Connect RF, which is a patented, ultra-reliable frequency unique to their devices that lets them bypass interference from Wi-Fi traffic and other sources, ensuring control of their products works flawlessly. And 6 months later, that has definitely been true. All of the automations you create in their app actually live locally in their hub, so as long as you have power, your shades or blinds will open and close. Another reason I went with them is the battery design. Each of my blinds takes 4 D-cell batteries, and while the upfront cost of getting all those batteries wasn't nothing, the motors are so efficient that in my experience with my old blinds, the batteries last about 3 to 4 years. And for 18 windows, that is far simpler than trying to bring power to every blind, which I think only really makes sense if you can get someone to come in and wire your house for that pre-drywall or in a retrofit, which I just wasn't able to do. The other reason that I went with the D-cell battery design is I really dislike blinds from some other manufacturers that have an integrated, non-removable, rechargeable battery that you need to recharge with a USB-C cord like every 6 months. Sure, that might work if you have like 1 or 2 shades, but not 18. I want my blinds to actually have removable batteries. The other reason I went with Lutron is I specifically wanted wood blinds so they'd blend in with my overall neighborhood and match the aesthetic of the home I bought. And Lutron still remains one of the only smart shade makers that actually makes a version with real wood blinds. They also work with most major smart home brands, even Home Assistant. They're not Matter compatible though at the time of recording, which is a bit of a downside. And then lastly, they have great features. While the app isn't the prettiest to look at, it is really easy to schedule your blinds to open at a specific time or close at sunset, as well as enable what Lutron calls natural light optimization. This is technology that automatically adjusts the position of my blinds throughout the day based on the direction that your window faces, which you specify when you first set up each blind. From there, it takes into account the sun's position based on the time of day, as well as the time of year, to accurately adjust the angle of every blind so direct sunlight coming through the window is either directed upward by the blinds or completely shut out by closing them fully. And you can choose the default open and close angle per blind in its settings. So for my bedroom, for instance, I can set it so the blinds are never fully open, but can still tilt to allow natural light into the space. So that's the Lutron Serena Smart Wood Blinds that I got, and in a bit I'll tell you how you can get them for cheaper than I did, but besides Lutron, what are some other brands I'd recommend looking at? If you want to stay in the more premium space, Hunter Douglas is a brand I hear come up a lot for nice quality motorized shades. Two Pages Curtains is another one. This is a brand I'm familiar with that makes custom-sized curtains that won't break the bank, and I've had actually really good experience with the ones I bought for my studio space in here, so I'd probably give their solution a look. And then I'd look at Eve, SwitchBot, as well as SmartWings. All of those options are going to cost less than the Hunter Douglas and Lutron options. And some brands like Eve Motion Blinds, SwitchBot Blind Tilt, and others do let you program the blinds to adjust their tilt based on sunlight intensity. But I can't say how reliable any of them are compared to Lutron's solution, which brings me to my recommendations on smart shades in general and how to get the blinds that I got for cheaper. Let me get to that first. Maybe about a month after I got my smart blinds, Lutron launched a new line of wood blinds called the Caseta Smart Wood Blinds. These start at a flat price of $429 for any size up to 48 inches wide and 80 inches high, and that's about $250 less per blind than the Serena wood blinds. And here's the kicker. They have the exact same technology as the blinds that I got, even the same color. They're basically the exact same blind. The Serena line just has more high-quality fabric options for shades, more premium options, and support larger windows, but from a technical standpoint, they have the exact same features. And I really wish Lutron had given me a heads up on that. Yeah. So in general, if I had to do it all over again and I didn't have the media discount, I'd actually just do all the blinds I did except for the downstairs bathroom, and I'd choose the new Caseta blinds. I would have spent right around the same that I already spent on these blinds, and at $429 per blind, considering blinds in the US aren't that much less expensive, maybe $300 per blind for a dumb wood blind, when you factor in the automation and ease of use you get with the Lutron blinds, I actually think going with something like automated smart wood blinds is a no-brainer if you can swing it. And if you want to price compare all of the blinds from the different companies I talked about in this video, I've left links in the blog post linked here in this video, as well as in the description and pinned comment. So, has all this been worth it? Yes, I do think smart blinds, even the more expensive ones that I got, have been worth it. And I would recommend getting them to anyone who's either installing new window shades or blinds in a new home, or you want to retrofit maybe a room or two, or your entire home. So after going through all of this, let me know what you think. Do you currently have smart shades or blinds, and do you think they're still worth it? Or if not, would you get some for yourself? Let me know. And make sure you follow us at 6monthslater.net to stay up to date on all of the latest smart home tech that we cover. For 6 months later, I'm Josh Tedder, and if you made it all the way to the end here, let me know by commenting 429. Thanks for watching.